everyone, and welcome to the third episode of our super special Tales of XADIA, the Dragon Prince role-playing game crossover between High Rollers and Cortex RPG's Roll and Keep. My name is Mellie Doucette. I'm the community manager for D&D Beyond and Cortex role-playing at Fandom Tabletop, and today I will be continuing as your deliverer of both good news and bad, because I am the narrator of our adventure, and I brought with me from home two of the coolest people that I know from Nerdist, Geek, and Sundry, the Improvised Generation, Ripley Improv. It's Aliza Pearl and Vanessa Guerrero from the El Rey Network, the Kicking and Screaming podcast. We're so glad to have you back here. I'm so sorry that I just accidentally knocked your character off a cliff while you were gone. My bad. And of course you... Oh, perfect. Yeah, just falling off cliffs, as we do when we're on break. But of course, you all know them, you love them, and for very good reason, because they're incredibly lovable. Some of the cast from High Rollers: Kim Richards, Tom Hazel, Ree Gower. Hello. I'm so glad to be here with you.
Hello.
Hiya. Yeah, good to be back. Very excited.
Yeah. Tales of XADIA, for those of you who don't know, is based on the Emmy award-winning Netflix series by Wonderstorm, and it is primed by Cortex. You can get started with the game for free by visiting the links that are being dropped in the chat right now. If you're watching in the future, they'll be in the description, and you'll be able to find the rules primer, a bunch of characters to play as, including the ones that you're seeing here today, and a full adventure ready to run, like right out of the box, like boom, start playing. We are going to continue telling this story and see the chaos that unfolds here, but we're also going to be showing you sort of how to play, dropping rules bombs, helping you learn the system. The tale that we're playing from is also an original thing out of my mind palace, so there aren't any spoilers here for any of the tales on the website. It's also non-canonical. It's outside of the official content of the game and the show, but you can discover all those real secrets with your friends by going to the site. And finally, I swear we're going to get to the game. We will be live with the finale of this series at 1 p.m. Pacific Thursday on twitch.tv/Fandom Tabletop, so get your jelly tarts. Tune in then. If you can't watch live, we'll get you set up with a VOD. Today's will be up tomorrow on the High Rollers channel. You can also catch episode 1 there. And then episode 2 is available now on the Fandom Tabletop YouTube, and the finale will be up there on Monday for your binging desires. So, with all that said and done, I think that we are ready to continue our Tale of XADIA. Quick recap. Yeah. Last time, the group discovered, they ran to Arena Scream and discovered some kind of magical sunfire-empowered something that has left a kind of puddle of bubbling magma. It seems to be, they've deemed it the lava monster. But that's not really that important. Who cares about a lava monster? Because really what we care about is this Moonshadow elf assassin that they are still trying to find. So the group heads back to the tree and tried once again to extract this Moonshadow elf from the tree, failing, unfortunately, as Anox, this escaped prisoner, manages to escape again, dashing off through the trees and getting away from the pursuing Diane. But found within the tree, as this is happening, Aliza, at playing Eljal, discovered some clues about the relic that Vanessa is seeking that is hopefully going to help with things back home, with the Sunforge, with Luxaria, with everything that's been going on over there. But she also found they also found a lot of traces of dark magic. And while searching for that, a group of hunters approached the party outside of the tree, asking to join them for a meal, to join them under the tree. And they were a little weird. They made people a little bit uncomfortable, and Routhna, being Routhna, intimidated them away, and then they went away. No violence, no fighting, just some humans. They were just wandering. They're never going to come back, I promise you. Haha. The group finally split up, Eljal and Vanessa going one way to follow this kind of sunfire magic and discovering a cave inside of which something shocking is there. We don't know what yet. Meanwhile, Irina, Diane, and Routhna continue to track Anox, not doing too great despite some hot brown morning liquid, but they did find something else. Winda, inside of, this cave on the side of the mountain, hanging from the edge of this precipice over a very dangerous-looking fall. But how did she get there? And Winda, we're going to go back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
earlier in the day, but a late evening, you've been out tracking, hunting, trying to just get a lay of the land here, trying to figure out, if there are any other hints about this relic that you're helping Vanessa and Eljal look for, if there's anything else that can tell you stuff about Enox, about Arena, about what all that is. And as you've been searching all day long, you haven't found too much of interest, just kind of the normal that you would expect. You do a little bit of food gathering. You also enjoy a little bit of the isolation from the chaos that you left behind. But late into the evening, you begin to hear sounds approaching. You're kind of heading up the side of the mountain, and in the treetops, you hear a rustling that's way too large to be a bird or a small mammal of any kind. How do you react to that?
All right. I want to investigate that rustling. Because as much as I'd like to be shoot first, ask questions later, I'm a very squishy mortal human. I'm basically a water balloon, so I should find out what it is first.
Excellent. And how do you want to do that?
Let me see. I'm trying to think. Can I actually, throw a small rock into it and just see what sound it makes?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got very good aim. You use a crossbow. You easily kind of pinpoint the sound, toss this rock in, and you hear a person making a sound, and then they just fall out of this tree, not expecting this at all. And laying on the ground, you now see the Moonshadow Elf from the tree, Enox. They are laying just flat out. They landed straight on their back. They did not manage to keep to their feet, and they're clutching their sack full of stolen and picked up garbage that it seems like they probably tried to protect that a lot more than tried to protect themselves from falling, and they just go, oh, hi, Winda, right?
You're a weird-looking
I'm sorry,
bird.
I'm not a bird. I don't think I'm an elf. We met before, didn't we meet with Eljal and Vanessa?
Right. You're that moon shadow elf. I could tell by all the garbage you're clutching onto.
Well, it's not garbage, but I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare. I wasn't gonna hurt you. I promise. I'm not an assassin. I don't know how many times I have to say that, but I feel like I should just say it again. But I was just going through it, and I didn't want to disturb you. You looked pensive, so if it's all the same to you, I'm just gonna keep going that way.
Up?
Yeah, well, it points towards over your shoulder up the mountain. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of being hunted by a really, really big lady with a really big sword, and then also a big guy with a big spear, and and also then a kid that really keeps on saying things I don't really understand. And I don't want to go home because I feel like I'll get in trouble, but I also don't want to stay here, so into the mountains, I guess. Safer. I don't know.
There's a feeling in the center of my chest that I can't really recognize, and I think it might be concern for your well-being. God, it's empathy. Do you need a guide, perhaps? Maybe for exchange for services? I feel so bad charging you.
I mean, I guess I could part with something. You could just pick something out of my bag of wonders if you want. But yes, I would love your help.
I'm gonna close my eyes and reach in and just rummage in because I want the surprise, and then just pull something out.
Okay. Do you want to tell me what you pull out?
Okay, I reach in, I rummage in, and then I end up pulling out just a little half-eaten jelly tart. And
yeah, absolutely. It is a half-eaten jelly. It's dry, stale. There's definitely like a little bit of mold on it. It hasn't been wrapped or anything. It's just kind of been there. You're not sure how old it is. Oh, man. Okay, you can have it. Human delicacy, as long as you can get me somewhere safe, somewhere I don't know. I don't even know where I want to go. Do you know where I should go? I feel like should we just start walking?
Oh my god. This is a job for at least like 10 half-eaten jelly tarts, but sure, let's start walking.
Okay, and you begin traveling with Anox kind of mountainside, and Anox, you can tell they've been alone for a very long time because they just babble at you constantly. They're not good with silence. They're a little on edge. You know, being hunted might do that to somebody. And it's you that hears it because you've got the kind of this sharp sense to you. Noises in kind of the brush, the conifers kind of along kind of the switchback that you're on. And Anox doesn't seem to notice at all. Despite being a scout, despite being observant, in this moment, completely focused on talking and being around a person. And so just keeps on walking, and you can hear this noise coming from up ahead of the path, directly where they are walking towards.
Okay. So I'm just gonna give him a quick little zit. And I'm gonna try and listen for what that sound is.
Okay, let's roll a test here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna set a difficulty. This is actually not very easy because the thing making the sound is very good at not being discovered. It's kind of what they do. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this 2d10s. 14, Winda.
Ooh.
How would you like to build a pool here?
See, that sounds like it shouldn't be one that's like too tricky to beat. But again, dice in my hands lately have turned to ash in my mouth. So
the good
I'm
news
gonna
is
go
that,
with awareness.
Feeling doesn't necessarily mean that you don't hear it. It just means that something bad is gonna happen.
Yeah, we just make the situation a little bit spicier.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do awareness because that's a 10 and it's part of my tracking abilities. And then mastery because mastering set abilities are very important to me. Trailblazing hunter and then my tracking specialties. This is not a case for crossbow, so I'm going to leave that one out. Although every situation could be a crossbow situation. Why?
Well, you do have 1 plot point. So everybody starts the game each session with 1 plot point. If you already had some left over from a previous session, you don't add another one. You just get what you had. But you do have a plot point. You could move that 3 over, make it a 15. Or you could just let this happen and save your plot point for later.
Well, I know later I'm definitely hanging off a cliff. So I'm moving over that 3.
Hey. Sounds good. So if you spend your plot point, you are now succeeding in this. So you silence Anox. And thank goodness you did, because you wouldn't have been able to hear this outside of that, because it is just this very quiet sound. You hear kind of the sound of like a cork coming out of a little vial, just really quiet, and then you start to hear just a little bit of murmuring and muttering. And right as it happens, these vines just shoot out of the brush, and they're just covered in this kind of purple energy, and they reach for Anox. And you, with your 15 and your D8 effect die here, you are able to just push Anox out of the way, and these vines, these spectral vines, just shoot between you both, and then they suck back into the brush, and then breaking out of this tree line, you see 3 figures and a dog. You see all humans. One of them just kind of has a hat on low, even though it's dark out. They just have themselves completely in shadow. They kind of a bandolier across the chest. They have a vial in their hands that just has this purple, corrupted energy coming off of it. And then you have 2 on the side, one large human, towering about the size of Routhna, and the other one, a woman who's got a crossbow kind of trained at you all. And the one in the middle says, "Well, I thought we smelled an elf. Excuse me, ma'am. We don't mean to be rude, but humans don't usually fraternize with elves.
Well, I've already accepted payment, so we're fraternizing as much as they want me to.
Well, I suppose we could work something out. Sure, we could pay something a little better than an elf could. Something you could actually use out here in the human kingdoms.
Well,
and they gesture off to the side, and the big guy digs into a pocket and pulls out just this rattling bag of coin.
That is a really good payment. But they've definitely already paid me handsomely, and I'm like trying to like scoot them behind me out of sight. And I kind of want to.
You want it to be. And he nods again. The guy kind of digs into a pocket, pulls out a second bag of coin, shakes them, so you just hear this jingling, these two thick sacks of coin.
All right, I kind of want to whisper to Enoch over my shoulder since they're right behind me, and just ask them, can you meet the payment or can you fight? Because I need a little help making a decision here.
I think I might have, like, another jelly tart in here somewhere. And they just start digging in through their bag. And they pull out, like, a broken comb. This is...
Oh god, it's that empathy thing again. Why do humans have these? Alright, I kind of want to hand them, like, a small little hunting knife so they at least have something. And then I'm gonna let the human team know. Look, I've already accepted my handsome payment, so I'm gonna have to decline your offer.
Well, if that's how it has to be, then... And they just... He kind of flicks the top of the vial again, so the little kind of cork just pops off to the side, and you can kind of see inside of it now. Now that the kind of magic aura of it has gone away, you can see this, like, these little balls of knotted octopus tentacles and like, reeds and such inside, and he just flips it open, and then he whispers, Noir McGard, Sog and again, coming out of this energy is going to blast towards you, and now there's one vine going for Enox and one vine coming for you as they try to grab you. This is be a contest. So,
no!
Amos here. Last session, he was just this narrator character, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to graduate him. He's a catalyst now. So he's just doing something, and I'm assuming you don't want it to happen. So he's going to set up the difficulty for this contest. So he's got a catalyst die of a D8. This is his mastery value. He wants to prove his dominion over others. And this is his D10 mastery. He's very motivated by this value. And this is going to be his Bully of the Wild distinction, which is a D8. And then he's got a dark magic specialty. I'm just all these dice, man. And then his dark magic spells. So I got 3 D8s and 2 D10s in here. I mean, I could roll that.
A couple more in there.
I could roll that.
A couple more.
Well, yeah.
I could. Let's see. Well, a 13. I'm setting a difficulty to 13. So for those of you who don't know, in a contest, somebody's going to set a difficulty. Somebody's going to try to beat it. There's a couple things that can happen, you know? You could lose, you could win, you could give in. We'll get to that. But first, Winda, you're going to have to make a roll here if you want to not be grabbed by these vines.
All right, so I'm going to call this one agility because I definitely don't want to be snatched up by these vines. I don't think this would be a liberty one. I think this is mastery again. Oh, no, I'm calling this devotion because Winda just made a new friend.
Yeah.
Whether she likes it or not. And we're going with foolhardy friend. Because again, she's made a new friend. And Ooh, that's a pretty skinny dice pool. I only got 3 dice in there that I could use. All right, let's give this a shot.
You got no plot points either.
Oh.
No, what have I done?
Good
Oh, you hadn't spent it earlier.
Oh.
Oh, Winda. I mean, it's fine.
Rip.
So here's the thing.
I did
In a
this
contest,
to me.
there's losing and there's giving in. If you give in, it means,
Okay.
cool, I'm not gonna, fight this. I'm gonna decide on my own terms how I lose, but I'm gonna lose. And that means that the other person gets what they want. But if you just lose, technically, they haven't gotten what they wanted. They're just gonna give you stress. So first off, I'm gonna buy that hitch from you. You can take a plot point.
Okay.
And the stress that I'm gonna give you is going to be, let's say, let's make it insecure. So you have a D6 insecure stress, and then this 13. So he's got a D10 effect die here. So I'm gonna give you a D10, which is gonna now be a exhausted stress. A D10 exhausted, as you are trying to avoid these vines, as they're shooting out at you, and you're dodging as much as you can and trying to avoid getting caught by them. And Anox is doing the same thing. And you see that now that there's adrenaline pumping, that they're moving a lot faster than they were earlier. And you're both managing to keep out of the way, but things are not looking very good. What happens next is, as you are really feeling it right now, and these vines kind of pull back into the bottle, he caps it. I think we'll give this one more try. And he gestures over at Clyde, and Clyde holds up now just the one bag and shakes it.
I want to try, and this might just end up being worse for literally everyone involved, but I want to try and fire an arrow at that bottle.
Okay, sure.
Who knows? It could just be way worse.
Yeah,
choose chaos.
I mean, I like it. I think that this is just going to be a test. This is going to be a test. I'm going to make this 2d8s, and then I'm just going to let him add 1 die in to that, because he's going to make it a little more difficult for you. I will add in one of his distinctions. This is his Dark Hunter. And I'm going to roll these dice and see what difficulty you got to go up against. This is going to be a 10. Ooh, I got a hitch. And you do have a plot point. So you could step down one of those. Oh, I got to add stress. Sorry, I got to roll that again. Because you got a D10 exhausted that I'm going to add it to my pool here.
No!
Sorry about that.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. I'm...
Lofty throw.
Look.
Good luck with that.
This flashback ends with you hanging off a cliff, so I'm not
You
going to
gotta
get
get to
too
that
bad
cliff.
about this roll.
Just gotta figure out how I'm gonna get to that cliff. All right. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to put agility into this because it is not a test of my intellect. I have no idea what happens if I shoot at this bottle. And then mastery, foolhardy friend, and then throw my crossbow into this. Well, at least I got 1 more die in there than last time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. I do have a plot point. Ah!
Oh, well,
What?
of course you gotta beat it to eat it. So
I gotta
you would
beat
need
it
to
to
spend
eat
that
it.
plot point in order to do that, or you can just take the L and save that plot point.
I'm gonna take that plot point. I want to see what happens.
Okay, so you take the L, you save your plot point. So you try to make this shot, and it just goes towards it, and he just whispers that same phrase again, kind of another one of these little balls of octopus tentacle and grass just kind of pulls itself up, and it just, very small one, just kind of wraps around the bolt, tightens, and it snaps the bolt in half, this like metal bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And then using that moment of like, you are focused on this, like he kind of just waves to the sides, and the 2 people, Henrietta and Clyde, they just circle in from behind, grab Anox, and start pulling him away. And as you're just like maybe trying to reload your crossbow, gonna try to do something else, try to take another shot, he says it again. He says that exact same phrase, another one of these little balls, and you see as just his hat kind of tips back, and you see as like his eyes are going black and like wrinkles are appearing all over his skin, and there's streaks of white appearing in his hair as he's just corrupting himself by doing this. And again, just reaches out, and these vines start to twist around Anox, and then another one comes out towards you, twisting around you. And then as it pulls Anox in towards him, you see as Anox shouts out in pain as this purple energy starts to kind of move into his body, and then you watch as this light kind of goes from Anox and to this dark mage. And as it does, you see as bits of these wrinkles and bits of the gray go back to just normal, and his eyes return to a normal color, and you see as Anox now has these dark lines and dark spots as he's been corrupted by this mage. And pulls him in. He says, "Well, thank you very kindly, miss." And then he just moves his hand, and this vine whips you. And you go soaring through the air. You slam into a side of the mountain. There's this small crevice, and you kind of get yourself caught like halfway. And as you're trying to like right yourself, you're just exhausted. You just had this like these magical like snake burns, you know? And as you kind of move, your foot slips, and you tumble into this cavern. And this bolt that you were about to try to load into your crossbow with all of your might slam into the side of the wall, and you're hanging there.
No.
And you can just hear them laughing as they depart. You hear Anox kind of crying out a bit, but then just you hear like it just weakens. And not long after, maybe about half hour, you've been trying to count the minutes. You've been trying to do anything to keep your concentration to hold because you just don't have the energy to pull yourself up because you're so exhausted. You hear voices nearby, and you start calling for help. And in a few minutes, you see as Diane and Routhna kind of poke their heads into this crevice and see you there. So Diane and Routhna, you see Winda looking battered and bruised and barely hanging on. What do you do?
I just like the idea that poor Winda is hanging for ages on, in this very dangerous situation, and in the distance she hears, "Boosties! Boosties! I'm gonna boost you!
Boost me!
I'm gonna boost you, Dion! Come on!"
Yeah, I got boosted. I got boosted real good.
Yeah.
You did. You got super boosted. You're all up here now. You're kind of on this edge, and you almost slipped going into this. So it's pretty like a little slippery up here. It's a little like kind of angled downward. But you hold on because you succeeded so well last time, and you're looking down at Winda, who is.
Yeah, I mean,
not
all in all,
good.
I'm having a great day. How's your day going, Routhna?
I don't know. I've lost pretty much everything. The only thing I've succeeded at is boosting you. Now there's a tiny human hanging. Do we know this tiny
yes.
human? I recognize.
Yeah. That's the one that was going to shoot me with either 1 or 30 arrows. So I mean, we have to save them.
Why?
I still have between 1 and 20, and I'm having an infinitely worse day than both of you.
Are you gonna shoot him? Like, if we help you,
Only on my way down. Only on my way down if I am falling.
Then we're bringing them up. I don't want to get shot at while they're falling.
Yep.
Okay.
No
shooting.
So glad we negotiated this.
How far down is Winda from us? Like,
Winda's a 2 or 3 feet down. It's far enough that she's not able to pull herself up and reach the edge of kind of this cave, but if you had something long to throw down there, or if you were a very large person, both of those things would probably be pretty successful, you imagine.
My spear or Routhna. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling good about my rolls, but I could try and reach over this side and pull Winda up. Yeah, I'm not feeling great about my rolls though. My rolls have been #cursed so far. But yeah, I'll I think I'll like lie down and then try and grab her and pull her up.
Sounds good. This is going to be an easy test. This is going to be 2d6s. You have no stress, so I don't have to add anything to that. It's just going to be 2d6. We'll see how I roll. It's a 9 that you got to beat, Routhna. So how would you like to build this pool?
Just give in.
So strength. Just give in. I'll give in. I didn't try very hard. I'm gonna. I'm gonna use strength. I think strength is probably the first bit. I think justice, because I don't know. It feels pretty weird to leave someone literally hanging. I don't know that any of my distinctions would come into this, like traditionalist or royal guard or anything like that. I don't think royal guards really save people. Maybe it falls under saving someone though. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna put royal guard in there because I'm saving someone. I'm not gonna use swordplay or unarmed combat. I'm not gonna use my broadsword yet. So let's see how badly this goes.
Alrighty, give him a roll.
12.
Pretty good.
I succeeded,
so
everybody!
You did it!
That is a success. So you're able to just like one-handedly pull Winda up, and just because this is very successful, went really well, and Winda was feeling insecure and exhausted. It doesn't help her exhaustion, but I think Winda, this is going to get rid of your insecure stress. You can treat this like a recovery test, and you are pulled up by Routhna. You are now back on solid ground after, half hour, 45 minutes of hanging there. Your arm is killing you, but at least you're safe.
Yeah.
What happens next?
I would like to update them on where my little shrimpy moon shadow elf friend went, because I want to help them.
The assassin?
Yes.
Where
they're
the
not an
assassin is?
assassin. They're not exactly an assassin. They're more of just like a very gentle hoarder that needs help staying alive.
Okay.
Haven't you ever met somebody so pathetic that they need help?
Well, that's why
Yes.
he's with me.
Oh, I think you meant like they hoard gently. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw you hanging from a cliff by a crossbow bolt, so I have seen someone like that before, yes.
Okay, me times 10.
Right. Okay. What happened to you? Why are you here? Why do you look like this? What happened?
I don't know. These 3 humans came out of the woods and they had this weird vial of this purple liquid with these vines on it. I don't know how to describe it, but they burned and they used it to capture that little elf and drag them off, and they sounded like they were in pain. And I know that an assassin definitely couldn't stand up to that. They're just a bystander.
Wait, 3 humans.
Somebody took the prisoner? They're gonna get credit for
Okay.
this. We have to find
I
them.
will call them prisoner. Yes, but also they've got
catch them before they
crazy...
Okay,
They've got a crazy goo that I have no idea what to do with.
definitely do not want them to solve the case for us, but you said 3 humans. They didn't happen to have this hat over their eyes, maybe a dog.
Yes!
Kind of-
Yes! They had a dog and a hat!
Oh.
Great. Good. Well, we've seen them before, actually. They threatened us outside the tree, tried to get in there. Didn't realize they were, using dark magic to try and intimidate, but that's good. We know them.
Yeah.
We don't know where they are.
Good thing we didn't eat raccoon with them now, huh, Deanne? Hey, see? I was doing a good thing telling them to get off,
Well, maybe they wouldn't have been able to get to Winda and Anox if they were having dinner with y'all. I'm just saying. They graduated to
Ralph not field, no consequences.
Weird. I can hear
That happened to
something
someone else.
criticizing me.
Jiminy Cricket? Is that you?
But y'all get this information from Winda. Arena is very much like, we need to find them. We cannot let them get credit for this. This is my entire career is on the line here, and I haven't even started my career yet. I'm only 12.
I was going to say, it's very career-oriented for a 12-year-old. But, yeah, I mean, how long have you been there, hanging?
I mean, I've been here for about half an hour, so they probably have that much of a lead on it. And if I still had any amount of blood in my arms, I'd be pressing them together to beg you to help that little elf. Because I don't know why, but I feel like I need to protect them.
Empathy. Awful, isn't it?
Empathy, right? It's terrible. It hurts and it kind of itches and I want it to go away.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, half an hour. Maybe they ran in any direction in this forest. I mean, you're a tracker with no blood in your arms, but a tracker. Maybe we can go back to where you were attacked and see if we can find where they went.
Excellent. You all begin to kind of make your plans for tracking these folks down, and meanwhile, kind of a decent distance away. I'm really bad at distances and what they actually mean, so I'm not going to give you a real number. Instead, I'm just going to say that in a cave, where we last left Vanessa and Eljal, as they have very successfully snuck themselves in and taken a look at what has been giving off this hot sunfire energy, what has left scorching tracks behind it, what has made this large roar that reverberated through this region. And now we see what Vanessa and Eljal see. A twisted humanoid figure, hunched over, like, almost looks like they're just in pain. Their arms bulking, like they've just been, their muscles just grew 3 times the size in a moment. Their armor is Neolandian in style. You can identify it easily. And it is torn in places. There are bits of the metal that have just fallen off. There's arrows sticking out of it, but not, in any particularly vital place, but that have stayed in there. And you can see from how blackened they are, and just the way that where they've entered is just a little, again, black and with this dried blood. It looks like they've been injured for a long time, and like they've been here for maybe a long time. And Vanessa, you were at the battle at the Stormspire. You recognize these as dark magic corrupted soldiers. But you thought that all of them had been taken care of, that none of them had managed to get anywhere, let alone into the human kingdoms. But this is unmistakably one of those Neolandian soldiers. And it doesn't notice you yet because of how well you all succeeded in getting in here. But you know that these things are extremely dangerous. What do you do?
I think Vanessa will just gesture to Eljal. These are Neolandian dark magic soldiers. They were at the battle. I don't know how it got out this far. These are dangerous. We probably shouldn't get too close to it. I don't know what it could do.
Yeah, I'm not. If I have a choice, I'm not getting closer to that thing. It looks like it's injured. I mean, maybe it needs help of some kind.
Maybe so. It looks like it's been here a long time. How do we go about helping something like this? Maybe do we need more of us?
Yeah, that could help. Yeah. I'd like to see if I get a sense of any connection between the dark magic of the, like, in that hollowed out tree that I sensed. Is there any connection to this soldier? Is it the same feeling?
That's very difficult for you to tell as somebody who isn't experienced in magic. You get the sense, because you've heard the tales from the Stormspire, and you see the evidence on them of a battle, you get the sense that this is definitely from XADIA, and probably not connected to kind of the older remnants of things you found in the tree.
Okay.
So what are you doing? Are you staying here? Are you...
I'd like to look around to see if there's any traces of that lava. Maybe it's connected to the lava.
Yeah,
that we.
You
that we
definitely
looked for.
do. You see where it is like just hunched over. It looks like it's breathing really heavily. Looks to be, in pain and also just full of anger. And you can see like where it has kind of made itself comfortable. You see this puddle just kind of dripping off of them from where their skin has cracked. The same way the Sunfire Elf skin would, where it kind of like cracks and you can see the heat underneath. But this isn't, doesn't look intentional. It doesn't look safe. It looks like it is broken and it's just kind of dribbling out of it. And it's just consistently, every few moments, just like kind of roaring in a bit of agony.
Well, there's our lava monster.
It looks like it. After seeing the appearance, could I maybe try and use my Sunfire ability to try and somewhat camouflage myself? So, like, if the monster were to see me, it wouldn't immediately pick me out as like an enemy. It might see me as something similar.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely try, because you can go into your heat being form, and your skin will crack, and you'll see kind of the heat underneath the Sunfire energy. You can absolutely do that. But what do you want to do once you've done that?
I kind of want to help. I want to help. I'm scared.
So let's see, because we'll be able to do this in a very many ways. So we're going to enter a challenge here. So in a challenge, there's going to be a pool of dice. Your goal is to get rid of all the dice in the pool. When you have succeeded in doing that, you have succeeded in ending the challenge. And you can end it in many different ways. You could attack somebody. You could try to help them and talk to them. But each time you do something that's going to try to be taking on the things in this dice pool. So, Vanessa, you said you wanted to do something first. You're going to go first, and it's a 3d10 challenge pool.
Okay.
So it's pretty difficult. So I'm going to roll to set the difficulty for you, and then you're going to tell me what you want to do and build a pool for it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. All right. A 12.
Okay.
So you have to get a 13 or higher to try and mess with some dice in this pool.
Let's see. I think I want to use my... Maybe my influence. It's only a d6. But I feel like... trying to camouflage herself with
trying to talk
that
to
ability. Trying to talk to it. See what level it's on. Let's see. And then for values, let's go for devotion. I feel like it's not. I feel like the Neolandian isn't necessarily an elf, but I think that that her instilled sort of what's the word? Like protector of people, I think having that would make her inclined to want to help and step in. And then I'll use her Sunfire Elf distinction. Would an animal training speciality come into play here? Like,
in this case, this is not an animal, so
it's not. But is it more like a
creature.
Bestial creature kind of thing?
Right, so you're trying to approach it as if it were a dangerous animal.
Yeah, exactly, like a cornered lion, like
I'll give you that
cautiously.
because when I played Vanessa, I made the same argument and my GM let me have it, so I will pass that along.
All right, cool. I think I will go with that and give that a roll. So 4 dice.
Do it.
Fingers crossed.
Thankfully, you got plot points too.
Oh,
What a good roll! Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That's great. Okay, cool. So, you're gonna be able to step down one of the dice in this pool. So it's gonna go to 2d10 and 1d8. and describe to me what this is. So you are approaching and you're trying to talk to it. So what do you say? What are you doing?
So I think what Vanessa will do is she'll gesture to Eljar and go, if something goes wrong, just run as fast as you can, and then I'll turn into I'll use the heat ability, turn into the lava-y form, and just start creeping up to it very slowly, very gingerly, but just try a little hello, just very, very gingerly.
So it's just, it's like huffing over there, and then as you say that, it just like turns quickly, and you see just the like yellow eyes, and where like as it turns and begins to just roar at you as the like little bits of spit flick out, they're like lava, and they just hit the walls and just like burn into the rock. And it's very like, it immediately goes defensive. You see these big claws. It makes itself big. Eljar, what do you do?
Okay, I am going to stay outside this cave because I enjoy living. And I'm going to try to set up a barrier so that if this thing tries to like run past Vanessa out of the cave, then it'll at least get stopped by, maybe if I can just like find some, like maybe even just like fell a tree or two, or find a tree that's already fallen and block the cave entrance.
Okay.
So trapping
okay,
it in
I like
there.
it.
But not too much that Vanessa is like badly trapped. Like I want Vanessa to be so maybe like
she's also much
halfway up, so
smaller
Vanessa
than
can
this,
scramble
like
over
just
it.
hulking,
Okay,
massive.
perfect. Okay.
You know. So she's So I'll go ahead. I'm gonna roll this 2d10s and a d8. Boom, boom. I got a 13 is what you gotta beat. Aliza, how do you want to build this pool out?
Well, I would like to get my sheet open. Okay. Drop in a tree, blocking a cave. So I would say maybe I guess just the strength to move a tree. It's probably necessary. Values.
Trees notoriously heavy.
Yes. I think the value would be devotion. Once again, just looking out for my new friend. Moonshadow elf, maybe, because I know which type of tree is the best one to pick. I don't know. Forest creature.
I mean, you can definitely use that. Moonshadow elves definitely live in forested areas. So I think that is fine. Also, I mean, doing things to protect, an area, or understanding, infiltration and that sort of thing ties into, your assassin background as well. So I think you got lots of options.
Great. I would like to use, if not swordplay, then the sword, because I think I could use the sword to help chop a tree down.
I think that you probably don't want to chop a tree down with it. It's definitely more of a lighter weapon, but you could definitely, use that to, get branches off and stuff to kind of make them smoother shapes and to get other things to kind of fill in gaps. I think that totally works.
Okay, great.
And you're also just super fast cutting all those branches.
Yes.
Oh no!
Oh,
that is not good.
No.
Wow. There's nothing.
Can I reroll?
Unfortunately, I don't think you've gotten any SFX that let you reroll. I think that's just
terrible.
what it is. So unfortunately, that is
there's no saving that.
The opposite of a heroic success, because definitely mine beats you by more than 5. So that's going to step up my effect die to a d10, which means you're going to get d10 of stress. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this onto exhausted, because it is just very heavy work. You're doing it alone. Like, this is not really, moving trees is not your expertise. So you're going to get a d10 exhausted stress. And inside this creature, this Neolandian corrupted soldier, is roaring at Vanessa and just immediately lunges forward and just tries to get its claws into you. So you're going to be rolling first this time. You're defending. So go ahead and build a pool of what you would do if this thing was attacking you.
Okay, I think since she was crawling up and being cautious, I'm going to use her agility, because I think she was kind of half expecting this sort of thing to happen. And then I'll use, for her values, I will go for... Let's go for... Ooh. Let's go for... What would this come under? Maybe...
You have one. I'm just trying to remember which value it is. I just see it in my head. So if you like hover over them, it should open up the description of like what the value means to you, which might get some more. There's one that's like my great might represents defense, not destruction.
Justice.
I can't remember which one that was.
Yes. Justice. Nice. Good shout. And then
Nice.
I'll use her Knight of Luxaria distinction.
I like it.
And then maybe we'll go for her strategy specialty as well. Being a soldier, she's used to this kind of thing, and I think we will go with that. So let's
Okay, go ahead and roll them dice.
give it a go.
Your rolls
13.
today. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, this is unusual for me.
I like it. Do you want to
Curse has
spend
been passed
plot
on.
points before it rolls? Because if you want to move any dice around, you have to do that before I roll. So,
I think I'm going to leave it as it is. I'm feeling pretty good about that.
okay. Feeling
Yeah.
good. Let's give it a roll. Got 2d10s, 1d8.
Oh, wow.
Oh, just. Oh, man. Well, it's going to be a d10 stress to you. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I'm just. So these claws come out at you, and it just swipes down, and you're trying to kind of predict its movements the way that you would predict, but it's not predictable. It's this bestial creature at this point, and it just manages to kind of grab your shoulder, and it doesn't manage to dig in. You manage to get yourself away with your agility, but it does kind of drag down your arm, and you're going to get a d10 injured stress.
Oh. Okie dokie.
Oh, boy. Okay, and then we jump back to Winda, Diane, Routhna. You are trying to find a trail. So this is going to be a test. I'm going to go ahead and throw that to. We suggested that Winda, before we left, was going to attempt tracking. So let me throw this together here. You found where you were attacked, and from there you're able to kind of start on this trail, but trying to follow it through the brush, trying to, they are hunters, you can tell, and they've been covering their tracks pretty well, but, you're pretty good too. So I'm going to go ahead and throw 2d8s in a pool here. Going to give that a roll. What? Oh, okay. I thought that 7 was a 1, and I was like, a 3, really? But a 9 is respectable.
Would have been nice.
I'll take it.
Okay. I don't want to get cocky.
Keep doing this. I gotta add your stress, and I keep forgetting.
Exhaustion.
Also, your stress. Diane, Ralph, and Winda, all your stresses have stepped down by 1. So
Okay.
that last scene, and I'm rolling. So I rolled 3d8s. I only got 1 higher, so you know what? That's pretty good news for you.
Let me just
No
step down
press.
my stress real quick. All right. So let's put together a nice little tracking pool. So we're going awareness, mastery, trailblazing hunter, and tracking. And hopefully I beat a 10. Who knows with how I'm rolling today?
Oh.
What? All right, you know what? No, I saved that plot point. I saved the plot point.
Welcome.
I said it as I
playing with the
rolled.
high rollers. Just welcome to playing with the high rollers. This is what we do. We
Yeah.
bring you down to the gutter.
Yeah. It's an oxymoronic name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's an ironic name, yeah. We don't
How do you get
actually
that?
we're not
Yeah.
actually high rollers.
Great. So you're spending a plot point. You're moving that 2 over. So you got an 11, which is going to succeed. Great. I'm going to go ahead and buy that hitch from you. And let's work into the narrative here. I'm gonna let you kind of describe this, but it's gonna be angry. I think you're getting angry at this situation, at how difficult it is to find this path, and describe to me from there how this goes, how this tracking goes, what clues you find.
What are you looking for? What are you trying? I was trying to find the trail earlier when we were following garbage, and
I'm bored.
When there was
really
footsteps. We couldn't really see the footsteps beyond a certain point.
Did they
the
go that
brush
way?
was a little bit separated. And,
Maybe they went over
we
there.
tried to go down that way, but
Everybody quiet!
okay.
And then Winda falls to her knees and grabs a bunch of grass in her hands, like she just wants to like tear at something up. And then right as she's doing that, she realizes there's footprints.
Excellent.
It's like
you finally see it. And then as you and you continue following this trail, and as you follow it, you do notice like little bits of hints of stuff. They've again tried to cover things, but you've managed to now find a bit of a trail. And then you notice that there are some other things that have dropped. You see a broken comb. You see some other, little handkerchief that has just some kind of snot stains on it. And you realize that there's things from Enoch's bag that also helps you when, there's no trail to find because they've really covered it. There's something else that gets you back onto where you need to go. And you keep following it until you come to this wide, writhing wall of purpley spectral vines that are blocking the path. Clearly somebody thought they were being followed. And then you see off to the side Enoch's bag of wonders, the little sack strewn off to the side. Clearly they keyed into something, and now you have just this massive wall of vines that is blocking your way. Group, what would you like to do about that?
Is this like a hack slash situation?
Yeah. If this is a hack slash situation, I can do both of those things?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. This is a spear. This is neither a hack nor slash thing. It's a poke situation for me.
Aren't you like a nature boy or something? This looks naturey. Don't you have like, I don't know. Can you talk to the vines or something?
Can I talk to the vines?
Tell them
Can
to
I
go
talk
away.
to the vines?
You can't talk to the vines, but you could use your agricultural skills in a human way and potentially, get something out of it.
Sure, I'll take them away, cut them down while talking to them sarcastically.
I just heard that talking to plants was a really healthy thing to do. Like, someone just once told me that you talk to plants. It's really good for both you and the plant. Oh, you're the one who said
Sure.
Yeah, so you're just trying to break your way through these? And Diane, you're taking a point on this?
Sure. While talking to them, apparently.
Can I assist Sarcasm Boy over here? Can I assist him in any way?
Yeah, so there's a couple things you can do. You can spend a plot point and give Diane a D6 asset. Or you can go first and try an asset test to try and, give him a bigger die.
I'll do... do you know what? I'm gonna spend a plot point. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Cool. So I get an extra D6 regardless.
So you have a D6, and what is that asset, Rothna?
So is it, would it be like, I guess it would just be my massive broadsword. Like, I'd start kind of, if he points and like, here, I'll make like the initial cut. Yeah, so he can get his little pokey stick.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah,
Okay.
you're doing the slashing for Diane. You are the gardener, and he's the master gardener.
Sure. In that case,
I know
will use...
plants, y'all.
Yeah, in that case, I'm using my influence because I'm talking to the damn thing. No, I'm not. I will go with... I'll just go with strength as well. What she is cutting up, I'm pulling out of the ground, I guess. And
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna set a difficulty for you as well. So I've got 2
Okay.
d8s here. I'm gonna roll. I only got
nice.
5. So
Cool.
these are very
Awesome,
dangerous
okay.
finds, y'all.
Actually, notice,
Watch
yeah.
out for them.
And this
I am
is...
watching out.
Why am I doing this? The value...
Yeah, why are you doing this?
That's a good question.
Ralph said.
Because Ravna said, and that will be my glory. And
You want to impress
I'll go with-
Rosna.
sure, I'll go with Duranium Free Folk as well, because it's what I do, where I am, and agriculture too. And I think that is the entire roll. I've got the D6 there as well.
It's pretty good.
High roll. High roll.
I like your chances.
High roller.
Good dice roll.
Let's see.
That's what we want to
No
see.
ones. I know hitches are bad, but I really like plot points. I really want some. I never
We
get
do have
any.
one at least. But that is a heroic success. So, your effect would be a D10. So this is going to be extremely successful. So I'm just going to pass it to you. What do you think happens? You're talking to them, you're hacking at them, they're magic, but they're also kind of coming off these trees. So what happens here, Tom? It can be
Yeah, so I'm guessing there's loads of these things, right? There's tons and tons of these vines. I'm like pointing Rosner and saying, okay, that there, hit that exactly here. I'll pull it taut, she cuts it, and then I tear it out of the ground, and then the next one and the next one. And trying to create a path, what actually happens is we just tear the entire thing down. Like, there was a path a long time ago, but I think we both got carried away in it a little bit, and we just tear all of them up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
we
this
just go to town on
montage.
this
There's
thing.
like this cutting. You're just trying to get this like hole, and we see it like boop, fade. It's getting bigger, and then it just like turns to your face, and you're like, "Ah, good work!" And then just see this empty
It's just
like chasm,
destroyed.
this giant pile of vines behind you.
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
Oh, we could have gone through ages ago.
We had to make sure every single one was removed.
No dark magic. There's no more dark
Excellent.
magic here.
Yes.
Yeah, just that energy seems to be gone. And as you kind of finish and you're like, oh, right, okay, what were we doing again? You hear this massive roar coming from not farther along this path that you're tracking people down on. You just hear this screaming cry. And then we cut back to Vanetta Eljal and the Neolandian soldier. Vanetta, what do you do next? You've just sort of taken a bit of a scratch across the shoulder. What's up?
Vanetta will throw her hands up and just say, "Listen, I was there. I saw what you saw. Please let me help you. Please calm down. Can you understand me? If not, I'll run away. Roar if you can't understand me, and I
Okay.
will run away."
You do see in its eyes like this just hint of recognition, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna roll these dice. And I'm gonna use, I feel like your exhaustion and injury is actually not going to make this more difficult for you because you're just trying to reason with it. So I'm just gonna roll these dice. Boom, boom.
Oh.
Oh boy!
Never good to see a 0.
Take it low
Fire
enough.
today, all right?
Let's go!
The good news is you've got 2 plot points. I will also tell you something that you can do.
Yeah.
You can push your stress. You spend a plot point.
Ooh.
You get to add one of your stresses to your own dice pool. But when you're done, it's going to step up.
Oh boy!
But it could get you an
Okay.
extra, you could get a D10 in there, you could get a D8 in there if you wanted to. So that's one thing you can spend your plot points on, if you want.
What have you got again? You've got a D10 exhaustion? is it?
D10 injury and
Injury,
a D8 exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know you're going to do it. You're
Yeah.
100% going to do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of gonna do it. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do this thing. All right, I'm gonna put in my spirit, I think, for this one. Let's go for Justice again as well. She's being very defensive right now. Yeah, let's do Knight of Luxaria. And then let's do it. Let's step up a stress. Let's see.
Yeah.
What do we want to do?
So you don't have to step it up yet. You get to just add it to your dice pool, but once this roll is completed, you'll step it up.
Nice. Okay. So which one do I want to do? Maybe she'd be afraid, I think. I think she's starting to feel a bit
So right
scared.
now you've got exhausted and injured that you can use.
Oh, it's one of those two.
Awesome. Yes, you either get that D8 and it'll become a D10, or you're going to get that D10 and it'll become a D12.
Let's do
steps above D12.
exhausted.
It takes you out of the scene.
Let's do
Sounds good.
exhausted.
So you get to add a D8, so you're getting to use this to your advantage. So you're exhausted, but you're using it for yourself this time. And are you using any of your assets or specialties on this one?
Let's try strategy again. She's trying to play it cool.
Yeah, you're negotiating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not letting the situation get to her head too much for now, but we'll see. That might change very quickly. Let's go. No!
All right. You have another plot point. You still have a plot point.
Mm-hmm.
So you could pull a die into your total.
Yeah.
No more plot point,
unbelievable
but you will
today.
succeed.
Yeah, I'll spend a plot point. Let's do it.
Bring the
Yeah.
6.
So
Bring the 6
you can
over.
put
yeah.
that 7 down in there. Boom, 22.
Oh.
So that is a
Oh, there
heroic
was a
success.
7 up there. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go.
So that is a heroic success, which means
Nice.
that your effect die steps up to a D12. So what's great about that is that's higher than a D10. You can knock an entire die out of this pool. Yes. That's how good that was.
Ooh,
So
cool.
it would then be down to 1d10 and 1d8. And so you do see the spark of recognition that it does understand what you're saying. And in that moment of its weakness, you make some kind of connection. Describe that to us.
Yeah, so I think that her being in the heat being form, there's that kind of, I think they look at each other in the eyes, and like the Neolandian probably recognizes seeing that form at the fight, and like they just make that connection. They're like, he's like, I saw you there, I know you. But
Excellent. Yeah, so
Yeah,
you've got this.
it's different. Yeah, I feel like there's this deep sympathetic connection, because as much as Bonetta is a warrior at heart, I think she enjoys helping people more than like the conflict itself. So I think there's probably a moment of like empathy, sympathy between the two.
Yeah. In this moment, too, you get the sense like that this thing has just been treated as what it currently is, a monster, and it's forgotten this human connection side of it as it's managed to travel its way from the Stormspire all the way back here to Durin. But in this moment of you not striking back, you raising your hands up and trying to talk to it again after it struck you, that gives it that moment of pause. And so we're down to a D10 and D8, and Eljal, you're up next. What would you like to do? So you've created this barrier now, like you feel like, okay, that's pretty good.
Oh, but I failed at that. So
Correct. You did fail at that. So you created this barrier, but
it's bad.
It's not as good as you hoped, but it's the best that you can do currently, and you're exhausted. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay. Yeah, I was imagining it just wasn't even there. But okay. Well, yeah, I'm looking at this crappy barrier that I've made that's gonna fall apart in any second. And I'm like, I'm really useless in these kinds of situations. But I pull out my sword staff anyway, just to be on hand in case I'm needed. And I would like to. Okay. Would I have any type of like snack or a little pouch of drink or something on me?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Because I would like to very cautiously and gently roll it into the cave towards the monster. Now that Vanetta has made this connection, maybe if it sees a little pouch that it knows would be a water pouch, it would be like, oh, wait, water, I should drink something. Just kind of get it thinking about its body and being
Sure.
present.
So yeah, you get it a little bit closer to the barrier that you've made. You have a spot, and you're like, "Oh, that spot's pretty big. You probably should have made that better, but I don't want to carry any more trees." But it's enough that you can definitely kind of start to get this out. So two things: one, do you want to spend a plot point and make that into an asset, or just that it is just a part of the narrative fiction?
Sure. Let's make it a plot point, an asset.
Sure. So you spend a plot point. You get to make that a D6. You can call it whatever you'd like. And then go ahead.
D6
I'm gonna
water
roll
bottle.
here first. Nice. So I don't think that your exhaustion is going to come into play in this moment. So I'm just going to go ahead, roll a D8 and a D10 for the challenge pool. And it is 1.
Pretty high.
I'm feeling so good. Sorry, y'all. The 14. I feel a little guilty about it.
This woman.
The power.
Keeping things interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I got my water bottle in there. I think agility, so that I'm not chucking it so that it's hits the poor thing and freaks it out more. Values. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe devotion again. Because now I'm like, oh, are we making a new friend? Another new friend? And my liberty phrase is devotion is I'm open to new bonds as I search for my path. So another new bond. Maybe I'll also do a song for all occasions, and I'll just hum a soothing tune to try to keep on making this thing calm down and chill. And I think that's all I got. I see a 1.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
All right.
Oh, you're muted, Mellie.
Oh, I think you're muted, Helen.
You're muted.
Thank you. Yes, I was. Excellent. Anyways, all right. So you've got a success here. So hey, that's good enough. You've got a D8 effect die, so you could step down the D10 or the D8 once. Which would you prefer? Have 2 D8s or have a D8 and a D6, or a D10 and a D6?
Sorry, 2 D8s or a D10 and a D6.
A D10 and a D6.
I think the 2 D8s. Let's step down the 10.
Sounds good. So you step down that 10. So you kind of sing this song, it's a bit soothing, kind of roll this in. And as this thing is it's having this kind of connection with Vanetta, Vanetta's still trying to reason with it. It just kind of rolls in. It just kind of taps against the back of your foot, Vanetta. And it came in very quietly. Eljaw is very, very sneaky. So you're able to kind of see it there. You're now able to kind of use that and try to... I gotta get that sneaking in there. But you're now able, you kind of are able to kind of use that. So we're down at 2 D8s. And from behind you, Eldal, you were kind of focused on this. You were getting kind of close, trying not to disturb anything. You're focusing really hard. And you hear behind you, well, they do say that music will soothe the savage beast. I appreciate this head start. And you turn and see the the 3 humans. Got the one in the center who's now holding kind of this bandolier. The big guy is just arms around Anox, who is looks not very conscious. And you see then the woman has the dog in front of her, and she's kind of raising up her crossbow. And we come back as Rothna, Diane, Winda, and Arena. You hear this roar. You also can now see on the path, as you get past this, they thought that wall was going to keep anybody from following. And so you see they stopped covering their tracks and they started to move faster, which makes it easier for you all. to now go and join in this whole darn situation that we have going on. So Eljal, you are up last, so you get to decide who goes next. So you can choose any of your allies. All of the enemies go at the end of a round in Tales of XADIA.
Okay.
So would you like Diane, Rutha, or Winda to go next?
I would like for Ralphna to go next.
Oh, hello.
Excellent. So you guys are now able to come in. You see this kind of cave mouth. There's some like smoke sort of coming up from around kind of not that impressive barrier of trees and twigs and thatch. And you see Eljal standing, looking pretty exhausted, and just kind of getting up from crouching down as the three humans stand before them. And they look, in turn, surprised at your approach. What do you do, Ralph?
Well. Look who it ain't. Can I? Oh, I don't know if I'd go straight in for an attack. Although it probably does look quite bad. See, now if this was D&D, I'd be like, can I hold my turn until... But I don't know if, like, Cortex has that kind of, like, ability.
Well, you can. So when you guys are deciding kind of like who should go next, if somebody says, hey, you should go next, you could say, oh, actually, I'd like to hold, and they can pick somebody else.
Yes.
So you guys are welcome to discuss strategy in the meta and then decide what you want to do in the fiction.
So I think Ralphna is probably like just taking in, because I mean there's a lot here, right? Like she hasn't seen Vanetta and Eljal for a while, so suddenly they're here, and then the three humans are here, and then there's the skinny little elf that she's been looking for but hasn't actually properly seen yet. And I think she's got a lot going on in her head of like, but the elf is an assassin, but the elf has clearly had something awful done to them. So I think like Ralphna would be getting ready for a fight, but not quite ready yet, because she is definitely aware that she can sometimes really put her foot in stuff. And
totally. So that means that Eljal or Aliza, Diane or Winda are still available as well. If either of you, Tom or Vanessa, have opinions as well, please feel welcome.
Well, I was going to say that, like, this is the third time now we've heard a loud noise in the distance, and me in my heavy armor has had to run up to this thing. So I'm like, oh, why am I always in the wrong place at the wrong time? And, like, I mean, Winda's seen these guys before properly in a combat scenario, I suppose. So I would probably defer it to Winda to see how they act. Good luck.
All right.
Let's see.
Sounds like we got Winda. You see this. You see your friend Eljal. You see these three people who wrecked your business.
A very important transaction.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out. I don't think I'm strong enough to like go on the attack, but I want to see if I can like separate their captive from them, or maybe create a distraction.
Sure. I like it.
Yeah. Let me see. What do I have that's at all helpful in the situation that isn't just my crossbow, which is like kind of helpful all the time, but still. Boing, boing, boing. Okay.
Tracking.
I want to try and climb into a tree, rather hidden, and fire an arrow and get that hat off of his head so that they're looking away there, and we can try and like pull away the hostage that way.
Okay, sure. So your goal is to get the two allies to, get away from the main Dark Mage, or to have the people get away from the big guy that's holding Anox.
I want them to get away from the big guy that's holding Anox, because then I can like
Sounds good.
If I could like break up the group a little bit, then maybe we can get Anox away.
I like it.
All right.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll 2d8s to see if you can succeed at this. So, boom, giving it a roll. Oof. What is my roll?
What is going on with you?
Oh my god.
Sorry, guys. I've also been casting some dark magic. Ignore it.
Clearly.
I'm going to chew my own tongue off by the end of this game. 14. Okay. So. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of awareness into this because I very much need to stay hidden. Is this a job for? I'm gonna say devotion once again, because I would not do something this ridiculous if it wasn't for a friend. And then trailblazing hunter. And then I'm gonna throw some climbing into this because I'm climbing a tree. And crossbow, getting a nice meaty pool.
That's a good pool.
'Cause-
I think you have 1 plot point too, so at least you got a little bit to.
Yep.
Oh!
Hey.
Very nice.
Nice. Awesome.
I beat it, thus I eat it.
You do.
Awesome.
So go ahead and describe. So you're going to succeed in the action that you described. So describe what happens. Like, what
Okay,
do they
so
do to get
I-
away from this?
I scurry up into a tree and I fire an arrow, and I basically just want them to like look away and think it was coming from a different direction than it actually was. So I'm gonna make this a little bit magical, and I'm gonna fire an arrow to where it curves, knocks that hat off, and they're looking in a different direction for who fired that arrow. So as they scurry off, we manage to just have the big elf holding on to our little hostage friend, that now things are like a little bit more manageable.
I like it. So yeah, so they go and they, the leader turns and is just like, Cloud, hold there, and they kind of like split off into 2 different directions. They're looking at the tree line, not looking at where you are kind of all beginning to approach. And the noises from inside, the roars, are covering a lot of the sound of you all approaching. Who goes next, Winda? Is it going to be Routhna or Diane?
I'm gonna go Routhna because we're gonna put our big strong up against their big strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like
and yeah, taking direction from Winda, like seeing what Winda's up to, like I can kind of see the tactics in place. So I'm gonna go step up to their big boy and yeah, I guess try and get Anox free from him.
I like it.
By hitting him with my
I'm-
giant sword.
Yay!
Nice. And the thing with your sword, it is huge. It's blunter than it is sharp. It is dangerous with how much it combines those 2 awful things of like a sword and a club. It's both. I'm gonna go ahead and roll this guy here. Let's see, where's his stance here? Clyde, where'd you go? There's Clyde. He doesn't have a lot going on for him that's going to help him here. So the difficulty is going to be 2 d8s, and then he's adding in a d8 bar brawler, but he's also going to add in his d4 dumb as a post. Because he's not going to clue into what's happening until it's
Fair.
I'm going to go ahead and roll those, set the difficulty. I got a 7. I've
Okay.
got no hitches today. It's crazy.
So, we're going strength. And I'm gonna go mastery because I'll sharpen my sword and do crunches all day if it means victory, because I really want to get this stupid elf. Wonderful elf, but, I'm annoyed. I want to win something. I feel like Royal Guard, because again, this is kind of like, hostage duties. We're gonna go swordplay, and we're gonna go massive broadsword.
Ooh, that's a tasty pool.
So let's roll all ones, baby. Please don't roll
Oh,
15.
Ooh, nice.
That's
That's a
good one.
heroic success. That puts your effect up to a d12. That just means this is like incredibly successful. So you are going to succeed in getting Anox away from this big guy, and you get to tell me exactly how it happens. Because this guy's he's going to basically be taken out of this scene. So go ahead and just describe to me what happens.
So as Winda does their thing and distracts and splits the party, Ralph is going to take that as the cue to kind of charge up and I guess like just rush this guy and wield the sword and bring it around almost like a baseball bat, kind of really judge it and just wallop it on the side of his head. It's not going to be like a cut. It's going to be like a baseball bat, like on the flat of the blade to like
you're hitting with the flat. Yeah.
You're slapping him
like
with
knock
it.
him out. Yeah, I'm slapping him in the
you hear
head.
this hollow sound as it just hits his head and just kind of like vibrates a bit. You see little like little laughing Rothna faces go around his head as he just like collapses into a heap. And Anox, who's like only partially conscious, like just kind of is now free of Clyde. And hearing this, the other two who are kind of rounding off turn. They see Rothna now. They see Diane starting to approach. They don't see Winda up in the trees. But then it is Diane. What would you like to do?
So, I mean, the arrow came from a direction. It was curved, so they're not sure of the exact direction. And Rothna trundled through extremely loudly. I want to confuse the situation even further by throwing my spear almost next to one of the guys, so it pins into a tree next to them. And in the confusion of looking in another direction, that's where the spear is right now, I want to run in and punch one of them in the face. I don't think the main guy, I think the other person off to the side.
Henrietta, sure.
Not the spooky guy. I want to leave him last.
Sounds good.
In this instance, I also want to go for Graceful Warrior and step it up with agility and strength for a plot point.
Yeah, excellent.
Nice.
And so also, so you're gonna get to do that. It's gonna be amazing. As well, like you can just boom. You've thrown that spear. You've kind of made that distraction. And we'll focus on. So that's easy enough. You can do that. So we'll focus on this action of going in and getting some fisticuffs with this lady over here. As her traits. Let's see what we got here. Henrietta has really nothing that's gonna help. But hey, she's got a dog, and that dog doesn't like when people come up to try to punch their master in the face. So this is gonna be 2d8 again with the 1d8 attached to it, as the bloodhound is also gonna like growl and like really get up in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll these. 11 is what you gotta beat, Diane.
Okay, that's pretty good. In this instance, then, it's strength. I'm trying to take this down in one. I'm going to go for justice in this case. When honor calls, I do not waver. Soldier of the Garden. So I've already thrown the spear, so I won't be using the spear in this instance, right?
Yeah, but you did spend your plot points, so you get to also add agility into this dice pool. So that's another
cool.
D8 you get to have.
Another D8.
Yeah, I think you have to drag an extra 8 in. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. Okay, and I think that is everything. Agriculture? Not this time. Right, boom. 17.
Now you guys got the rolls going. That's a heroic success also. So this is going to super succeed. You get over there, dog starts to get into the fight, but just like with everything that's happening, and she's kind of bashing her crossbow around, it just kind of gets spooked. It runs kind of off. I don't want anybody to hit the dog. So it runs off.
Oh no, I was going to say, I almost want to after I wallop this person, like their food bag is off to their side, I like grab something from that and just throw it into the forest.
Perfect. I love it. So yes, you knock Henrietta out. She's laying on the ground. The dog growling. You manage to get some food and throw it out so that the dog is taken care of, but not hurt, because nobody wants to hurt dogs.
Nicely.
I love it. You know what? And for that idea of the food and everything and not hurting dogs, I give you a plot point. Just as a...
Nice. Good, I was on 0.
Plot point. Sometimes it happens. Excellent. And so this is very successful. His allies are now gone. When he gets to add a die from each of those, if they were around, they're not anymore. So he doesn't get those extra dice. We're going to jump back into the cave, though, where Vanessa is trying to negotiate with this creature, because it's its turn, and as it hears this sound from outside of these people, and there's a combat starting, and it hears the bonk, he immediately, like, that connection severs for that moment, and it roars and just, it's not trying to like hurt you with this, it's just panicking, and it just kind of lashes out and just tries to like push around past you. So you're gonna roll first to defend against this, as it's just trying to like, scared animal, cornered, trying to get out, and you're in the way.
Okay. I think Vanetta will probably use strength. I think in some way, I think she wants to maybe try and like hold it still, like hold it steady. So I think, yeah, I'll add strength.
I like it.
And then, I will add. I think I'll add devotion to this, just because now she's really, she's really focused on getting this poor being like under control. I think she's really into that at the moment. And then I'll use. She's into that. That's what she's into right now.
That's the new fad right now.
It's the new thing. It's the hip new thing.
All make friends.
Yeah, making friends. I'll use her Knight of Luxaria distinction, and then can I try the animal handling specialty again?
Yeah, you can, because I think that's still consistent with what you're trying to do here. I'll also throw to you. You have an SFX. Do you have plot points right now?
I do, yeah. I think I've got one left.
Excellent. So I will throw to you. Actually, I don't even know if you need a plot point for it. You have an ability with your heat being that will let you step up your strength. But you'll also have to take angry stress to do it.
That's fine. I can, let's do that.
I can get angry.
So you add a D8 angry stress and you step up your agility and strength, and that's for the duration of the rest of this challenge. So as long as there is dice left in this pool, your strength and agility are stepped up.
Cool, so I'll step up my strength to a 10. And then put on an angry stress. There we go.
You're just going to add that into your character. There you go. And roll those dice. Cool. And
nice.
See how you do.
13?
Pretty good. All right, 13. So it has 2 d8s left in the pool from after Eljal's turn. So we have these 2 d8s, and it's going to then use that injury to your arm is going to make it a little bit harder for you to keep hold of this thing. So we're going to add your d10 stress in there. And I'm going to roll.
Okay.
Oh, my rolling ability has gone. And that is a success.
Finally.
So it tries to just barrel past you. Your heat being form just flares up, and you kind of grab onto it, and it's just kind of like this football tackle. Like it tried to tackle you, and you're stiff. You're holding it there. Your heat being form kind of goes up, and so the damage of this lava and everything that's kind of just like leaking out of its skin doesn't hurt you. And you're just kind of like connecting with this thing some more. You're still in this kind of like hug. Outside, though, things are maybe a little less friendly, as it is Amos's turn. And he don't like what y'all doing, so he's going to go ahead and pull just out of his pocket a nice little satchel. He opens it and pulls out of there. You see what looks to be a bunch of hairs that look about the same color as those on Anox. And he begins to kind of like twist and crush, and then he kind of like pulls them into two sides and then pulls like this. And he says, et norum et gnirts. And Anox, who's laying on the ground, just kind of kind of pulls up like a puppet, and kind of is now kind of under Amos's control, and is gonna go at Routhna's the one that's right there. So it's just he goes and just tries to like pound on Routhna, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll some dice for this contest of him trying to control Anox to hurt you. This is going to be his catalyst die, which is a d8. And he's got his mastery of a d10. His bully of the wild It is dark magic. We'll roll that.
Oh my god!
Oh.
What is that? What is no? What is that?
No, Mellie!
Rigged. This is rigged, y'all.
Oh my god.
Would you like me? So you have a choice. You don't have to roll against this, but if you don't, then I mean, it.
No, I'm
What
gonna.
would you like
I'm
to
gonna-
do? You gonna enter in this contest?
I'm entering it. I'm not backing down. This tiny elf is scratching me. Ow. So I think it's gonna be a strength, a mastery because I'm using my sword and my fighting. I'm gonna go royal guard because I'm fighting. Sword play. So I think pretty much the same as last time. Lots of swords, sorting stuff.
Yeah.
Because this thing's attacking
This
me.
small elf lunges at you. You know, this weird puppet body, but you're just like, I got a big sword that is as big or bigger than this elf.
Oh no!
Do you have any plot points left?
I don't. I mean, did we get like one if when we started this scene? Because
No, it's just at the top of the
no.
session. You get one.
okay. Then
That's
no,
not
I
gonna
don't.
do it. But you
Fine,
do.
isn't
Your effect die of a D10 is higher than the effect die he had of a D8, so you're gonna have to step it down. So you're only gonna take a D6 of stress, which I think makes
Okay.
sense. And I think this isn't even like it doesn't hurt, right? Like this small elf can't do much damage. It's just the fact that it's happening, that somebody's body could
It's a
not be under their
shock.
own control.
Yeah.
It's frightening. Like,
Yeah.
could he do
Oh,
that to
yeah.
you? You don't know. So we're going to go and give you a D6 angry stress. Or, sorry, afraid.
Afraid.
Words.
Okay.
That's
D6.
words and things, and that is the end of that. And because I just went after you, you can decide who should go first at the top of this round. Vanessa, Eldol, Winda, or Diane.
Oof. So can I
it
can
could be
I
yourself.
see can I see Banana and Eljal with this other thing in the cave? Can I see them?
You can see Eljal standing outside of the cave. You can see kind of the smoke rising out of this and hear roars coming from inside the cave, but you don't see Banetta.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go to Dion because he's my bud and hopefully he'll do something helpful.
Okay.
I mean,
So you've just taken care of Henrietta, and you turn back and you now see Anox is like pounding away at Banetta's chest. And the Amos is just, he's got these hairs in his hand. He's just like, again, he's mimicking the same thing. Controlling Anox.
what sort of understanding does, I guess, every character as a whole have of dark magic? Like, do I know this is a puppet controlling thing, or
I think that it's easy enough to tell based on like how he's got the stuff in his hands. There's this magic coming off of him, connecting it to Anox, who is doing the same thing as this other guy's doing. So like when Amos goes and tries to swipe at Routhna's face, Anox does that.
Okay, in that case, I think since Eljal is also near like the mouth of this cave as well, I'll kind of call over to them, and I want to try and kind of hold this guy back in a way so he can't swing his arms around and attack for the elf, and just hold him in place so the puppeteering kind of falls away a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'll take like an arm.
Sure, you're
and...
gonna go for a contest.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna go and try and stop him and grab him, and your spear is over there too. By the way, it's like right next to him because that's where you threw it. So you're going to do a contest, so you get to set up the roll first. So go ahead and build a dice pool for me.
Sure. If I'm holding him back, then I'll go with strength. In this case, I'm going to go with devotion because this is, in a way, stopping something from attacking Routhna by proxy. So I'll go with devotion. And I'll go with never back down. My spear's there, but I can't think of a way to use it while it's still wedged in a tree, unless I ping it into his face. No, that's dumb. I'll leave it at that. And just go with that. Strength, devotion, and never back down. It's not a huge dice pool, but it's... Oh, that's a 1. It spanned from a 7 to a 1.
It was.
Hey, you said you wanted to roll hitches, so I will buy that from you.
Thank you.
Go ahead and take a plot point. I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. Make a D6 afraid stress. So that is like you get close to him and you just see all the signs of dark magic. His hat's just sort of like your spear sort of knocked it a little bit when it came over. And his like motions have just knocked the hat off. So you just see as this is just taking effect as he's casting this, is just his entire being is becoming corrupted. So D6 afraid for Diane, and I'm rolling against that. So Amos has his catalyst die. In this moment, this would be his...
I do have a higher stress if you wanted to roll that as well.
Yes, yeah. And he's got his D8 liberty. The only law he ascribes to is the law of the wild survival at any cost. So he's back down easy. This is going to be his Bully of the Wild still. He can't use his dark magic here because it's being used elsewhere.
Okay.
So he got these 3d8s, and then you've got a d8 of angry. But I think that afraid kind of is going to impact this more. So I do think narratively I should use that d6. So I'm rolling these dice. Boo, boo.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, hey, it's not over yet because in a contest, it now goes to you. You can give
That's
in,
true.
which means you're going to lose. You get to decide the terms of it, and you get a plot point. Or you can try to roll again and try to beat him.
You know what? I'm gonna give in. Narratively, I'm gonna give in and let him win this one.
Love it. So you get a plot point, and so he has succeeded in keeping you from grappling him, but you decide the terms of that loss for yourself. So describe that for us.
So I mean, I guess in the action of trying to grapple this guy, I was also trying to call over Eljal to help out in some way. So is there something in what little action I did would assist Eljal in their next turn, or?
Yeah, so you can say you were trying to grab him and you didn't succeed at that, but you caused enough of a distraction that somebody else is able to kind of get in and have a position that is more advantageous than they had before. Absolutely. Cool, yeah. Eljal is now able to sneak in here potentially and do some things. So it sounds like Eljal should go next.
Bless you. Me.
Bless you.
So Aliza.
Thank you.
What would you like to do?
I think I want to try to disarm this dark mage. Because he has like a hunting rifle that has like a dark magic chamber on
no,
it or
right?
something.
He has a bandolier, so he's got like a bunch of vials in a bandolier. So just his ingredients and stuff are just handy. But right now he's just got handfuls of hair that are like he's using as puppet strings for Enox. So you can try to like deal with that if you want.
Yeah, I do. I want to try to knock those things the hair out of his hands.
I like it. Okay.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to use my sword staff for this, like try to batter his arms or hands or something.
Yeah, like when you get hit with something sharp, your reaction probably is to move your hands and probably drop things. So that makes sense.
I'd like to use agility. And I'm pretty good with my swords, so mastery. Maybe Moonshadow Elf, just straight up doing my sword staff assassin thing. Sword play and sword staff.
Love it. Nice big pool.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's a taste of my own medicine right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will go ahead and build him a pool. So I got his catalyst die.
I'm still scared
It's
though,
gonna
you know.
be his.
Me too.
That rolls
yep.
I'm gonna roll like a
terrifyingly.
20.
I do think that his Bully of the Wild distinction is actually not going to help him as much this time because he's so focused on now he's got Diane right in front of him who he wants to target. So he's not expecting this. So I'm going to give him a D4. I'm going to get a plot point for that. But he's going to be D4. And then he's got his value here, I think, would be glory. He's a the trophies on his wall prove he's a master hunter. And is that all he gets? Yeah, that's all he gets. No, that can't be. I'm going to activate a plot point and use his SFX.
Oh dear.
As he, at this, he's facing off with Diane, and he just turns just enough. He's still holding with one hand this connection to Enoch, so only one arm is still controlling Enoch as this other one reaches out and kind of grasps your shoulder, Diane. And your angry stress is going to convert into corrupted stress. So just that 8 moves over to corrupted. And he's going to add a D8.
Does that mean Diane is corrupted?
Yep. He just puts his hand on, and you feel yourself kind of calming, like you're not as angry. But then just like your vision is going darker, and you just like feel, you look and you see as he moves his hand, you see just in your armor, like a handprint has been left behind, this purple handprint. So he gets to add a D8 for your stress that he just moved for a plot point.
Okay.
And Eljo has been exhausted, so now I have a pool that can do something.
Oh, that's a lot of. Huh? Oh, it's one.
Not enough. So Eljal, you get to give him stress. So you've got a D8. Which kind of stress would you like to give him? Afraid, angry, exhausted, injured, or insecure?
Exhausted, insecure, injured.
Okay, giving you a D8 injured, and now describe this for us. As he reaches out, he grasps Diane so that he gets this little bit of extra power, and he's still focused on Diane, though, and only hears you at the last moment, kind of turns to strike with some magic. His hand that has Enoch's hair, the one hand that he still has left, has the hair in it. He turns back towards you. It's right in front of you. What happens?
He gets sliced in the hand. That's definitely going to make him drop the hair and also make it hard for him to use his hands for a while.
Love it. Yeah, slice across. His hand opens up. The hair gets caught in by the wind and just like catches against his cheek too. So just kind of slices across his cheek. Got a 6 new scar. So that's always fun. And as he kind of, now he just looks really angry, and he kind of is between the two of you and trying to decide what to do next, and starts kind of focusing his energy once again, trying to bring this energy together. And he grabs at his chest, pulls a vial off, smashes it down, and this darkness starts to begin to envelop him, and he disappears from your view.
Oh, dang.
And inside the cave, Vanessa, you are with this angry, corrupted soldier, and it's kind of almost close to almost hugging into you as you're just holding it in place. Like, it just hasn't felt this kind of connection in so long that it's almost kind of giving up this fight, this anger that is consuming it because it's so desperate for something else. And it's kind of leaning into you a bit. And then from behind, you see, peeling off the shadow of the wall, that human that you saw by the tree, Amos. And his hair all white. He's got these thick black veins all over his face. And he steps forward. Well, I'm glad that you calmed it down for us. And as he raises a hand to cast a spell, we will end it there and pick that up.
Classic! I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
So we will
There's
look
that
that up on
cliffhanger.
Thursday. Our last episode 4, will be on twitch.tv/Fandom Tabletop at 1 p.m. PT. So make sure you tune into that. There will be a VOD of this one tomorrow. So, tell people to go check that out so they're ready. And thank you all so much for watching. This was a very fun session. I'm so glad that we're able to do this.
Oh,
and
it
we
was so
will-
much fun.
The
Oh.
rolls were wild.
Even though I am
Hey,
corrupted
you
now.
got some plot points. You got some good rolls. You got some bad rolls. It was everything. Thank you all so
Yeah.
much, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.